Hey everyone, welcome back to Keymaker. Today I'm going to be going over Concentrator protocol and giving a full tutorial and instructional video on it all in one. If you guys like this type of content, please let me know down in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you like the video. Hey guys, so basically I'm gonna be breaking down this YouTube video in different parts. So I'm gonna go through slides that I've created for the video to help teach the protocol and step by step, or the steps that I think are important. And then towards the end, I'm gonna have an instructional video that's not too long because the website's fairly simple, but a tutorial video on where to find everything, how to use it. But not to get ahead of myself, Concentrator is a yield enhancer protocol that they built on mainnet Ethereum and additionally built on top of the convex ecosystem. Unlike auto compounders, they don't dump the yield that they harvest. Instead, they get the yield that they get from LPing in the pool, and they go and reinvest it into the ecosystem. And the revenue that they get from staking those tokens, they compound the position back. So that's how they're able to provide more revenue, because the staking APY for Curve has always been fairly high. High enough actually where they're confident that they can provide over 50% in additional APY with their system. They currently have 13 pools, more or less, with the highest APY being CVX ETH at around 70% APY at the time I recorded. They also created a product within this ecosystem called A Curve, where the main goal was to try and provide a utility to Curve on L2s and cross chain, because the main use case for Curve at the moment is on Polygon and on mainnet, and only that I could see from my research, I've only been able to find like one protocol where they actually put Curve to use, besides like LPing it like in Uniswap, Balancer, or Curve itself. KeyDAO is the only L2 that I could find on the moment. Well, Polygon is not an L2, it's a sidechain, but it's the only protocol I could find at the moment that gives some extra utility over to Curve. And I know in Beefy Finance they have an auto compounder for a Curve and ETH position, but besides that, that's pretty much it. So this creation or product that they created is actually really useful, just because it's able to give people in L2 a way to use Curve and still get exposure to the yield on mainnet, but without having to actually deal with mainnet fees, which is something actually really interesting. The downside is at the moment that they haven't been able to get partnerships or create products over in L2s to give it some extra utility, like lending, borrowing, or like minting stablecoins against it, stuff along those lines. But I think that's something that's going to come in the future, and from talking with them, they're really excited for this product, and I'm sure they have a reason for it. And I don't think it's fair to continue with this explanation without explaining the people and the protocol that are behind this project in a little bit of detail. So the people who helped make this possible was AladdinDAO. AladdinDAO is a protocol in Ethereum that funded the creation of Concentrator and helped made it all possible. And that's why in the token distribution that you're going to see later on in this video, that they received 30% of the supply. Unlike VCs, they're not going to dump the token right at launch. They're going to go and lock it immediately for max time. They're never going to sell it, and they're planning to give that 30% supply revenue that they get and give it back to the Aladdin stakeholders, so they have a financial incentive for the success of the ecosystem as a whole. So I think that's a key point to point out. So in case you're confused about why they get such a big allocation, it's because of that. They will lock forever and they will give it back to their token holders. So it's not bad that they're doing this, and it's actually going to be really nice to be able to have such a large DAO backing them up and giving them support. With this, I want to go to the next part, which is going to be explaining A-Curve more, the rationale behind it and how it works. So first, I'm going to go over the rationale behind it. So they made it so not only it works to help make the system possible, but also because it would give them a presence on L2 and beyond. So the reason they're trying to get on L2 cross chain is because there's a bunch of Curve lying around on these chains that's doing absolutely nothing. There's no way to earn yield on it, and that's been something that people in the Curve ecosystem been complaining about for a while. So this is how they came and created the solution to it with A Curve. And this is to help give exposure to people that do not have the money for mainnet Ethereum, but still want to be able to have a presence in the ecosystem. With that, I think it'll be smart to go over how it works. So the way that A curve works is by tracking the curve that's compounding in the concentrator vault. The total amount of curve contained in the concentrator vault is equal to the total A curve balance multiplied by the current index, and you can find that on their website, the math behind it, or you could just see the number for yourself on the website. I want to point out that in the future they're gonna be able to not dump the CVX. They're going to be able to use the Cleaver protocol to be able to reinvest it back in the ecosystem and not cause harm. So that's the main point that they emphasized on our podcast with them. If you haven't gone and seen it, go check it out. It's down in the description. But they want to try to make it as positive sum as possible. So they're gonna one day be able to get the CVX that they harvest, put it in Cleaver, and not dump it on the market, which is something that's going to be really interesting and good for the protocol. Next, you're gonna see a demonstration that they have on the website, a little diagram, about how it works and how they're able to provide it. But I'm also gonna have a slide presented, and I'm gonna go over it now with you. So the vaults, how they work, as I said in the beginning, are fundamentally different than auto compounders. They're actually exact opposite. So normal auto compounders like Yearn and Beefy Finance dump all the rewards that they get, buy the underlying token, and compound the position, which is good. But when they do that, it's actually pessimistic for the protocol and actually does harm to it. So what they do is they get the rewards and convert it back to CVX curve and restake it, and that's how they compound the position like that way. And then when you go out of it, you could go and pull out your position, zap it back into whatever product that you initially deposit in it, which is actually really cool. And this is a huge change from the normal dynamic, because not only are they removing market sell pressure, but they're also like helping the growth of the ecosystem and not causing any damage to it, which is something that they really emphasize. And I think it's something that should be emphasized, is the benefit of using them than others is that you're not only getting what you want, which is increasing your net worth, but you're also helping the growth of the protocol, and you're helping not only Concentrator but also Convex and Curve grow as a whole. So like all things crypto, they themselves are going to launch their own token, and this next slides, I think it's 2 slides in total, are going to be the token and the distribution. And with that, they're using something called an IFO vault, which is a new addition to the protocol. It's separate from the normal vaults that we already discussed previously, but instead of returning back A curve tokens, you receive CTR tokens instead, and people who participate will get the token supply up to 50% of the tokens that they plan to launch until there's none left, and then there's no more emissions of the protocol, and there's no further tokens going to be emitted. There's going to be in the slide a diagram down below showing the percentages that they're going to have. The letters are in gray, so it may be a little bit hard to see, but if anything, I'll try to go over it in this video. I think what they're doing is really nice, because they're trying to give back tokens to the people that are supporters of the protocols and believers in it long term. So like the token distribution, this is how the token is distributed will work. 50% of the token supply will go to IFO vault participants, 30% will go to AladdinDAO, which is immediately locked and will be given back the yield to their token holders. The rest is going to be displayed here. So 3% is going to be in an airdrop to participants. I don't think they have yet disclosed that, but if they have, then it's my bad. I would try to add something in the description. They're going to have 3% in community boosters, 10% is going to be for treasury reserve, so they can still continue growing the protocol and do whatever they feel is necessary, and then 3% is going to go to the balancer liquidity mining pool, and that's something that we've gone over in the podcast that I think is really interesting that you should go down below. But the way they set up the balancer pools to really penalize people that are just like VCs entering and just dumping a shit ton of tokens, which is actually something really good. Now that we've gone over the CTR token distribution, how the token is actually going to work is going to follow the VE token standard that Curve created and that the rest of DeFi is kind of following. The max locking period is going to be 4 years, and the way they will distribute the revenue is that 50% of the CTR lockers will get the income that goes into the protocol, and the other 50% is going to go to their treasury, and they plan to use it in multiple ways, but mainly they just want to cover costs and support the growth of the protocol in case something comes up. And I don't think anyone's going to really deny them that. It completely makes sense. There's going to be no emissions emissions for the token, which is a new trend that we've been seeing and we actually talked about in the Umami protocol, and I think more protocols are going to follow this trend. No more emissions and just going to have it just be out in the market all at once. And I actually think I approve of that, just because I think it's something interesting to see, and I think all experiments should be experimented with, and I hope more people and protocols follow that model, so and we can cover in the podcast and in the YouTube channel to see how they do long term. We've been seeing this with Umami as well, and I think Redacted Cartel is gonna follow this as well, and now CTR. So that's three that I can think of at the top of my head that are trying to do this type of model. But if you know anything else, just let me know. But I think this is gonna be the end of the slides. I talked everything that I wanted to talk about. I tried to make it as fast as possible because I don't want to make it another 40-minute tutorial video. So if this is something that you enjoyed, please let me know. My bad if I spoke a little bit quick. Up next, we're gonna have the not the YouTube videos, the websites, and where I'm gonna teach you how it works, where to find everything, so you don't get lost when you're trying to use the protocol. I hope you guys enjoy this, and please let me know what you think. So here that you're gonna see on the screen is gonna be the home page. So this is the frequently asked questions page. I did use this for explanation of the video, but I also use part of the podcast as well. If this is something that interests you, you can find this on the website, where you could also find the diagram of what I was talking about. It gives you an explanation of the LPs, A curve, where they got their audits, how much did it cost. You can see the fees to run it and everything on Getbook, and it's something that I think is really interesting, and I think you should all see. They've been audited by 2 places. It shows you the math behind the A curve calculations as well, and the diagram shows you step-by-step dynamics of how it works and all that. So this is going to be the home page. As you scroll down, you're going to see the TVL and their advertisement of their main appeal, which is 50% extra yield, and how much CVX curve they have in the protocol. Right now, A curve is earning them 35.56%, and the index is 1.115. Here you're gonna see on the left is gonna be all the pools. So I do think they have 13 pools if I counted correctly, and I didn't put them in any specific order. Now you're gonna see which one has the highest TVL, which is 3 pool, STE, Track Crypto, CVX curve, and etc. You're gonna see how much yield they earn and everything there. It's fairly straightforward. I think they're gonna plan to add more over time, and they're gonna be able to go L2 once Convex goes to L2. And you see here, so now you have to deposit into Curve, but you don't stake it in Curve. You come over to Concentrator and you deposit it into Concentrator. And what you earn here is going to be A Curve, which is automatically staked Curve. And just to show you what I'm talking about, you have to go here to Curve for every one of these pools and any pool in the future. Click on the pool that you're looking to deposit at, and here's the menu. I think it's pretty straightforward. You go on deposit. You select which amount of DAO USDC, and here's all the buttons for deposit and stake. You only deposit, and then you just come back and you deposit that LP token into Concentrator. It's fairly simple. You do have to do a few clicks, but I think that's pretty straightforward. The rewards is also explained there in detail. It's only 1.25%. You can see they have it divided, and here's going to be the same thing. So it's going to show the same thing, same explanation and steps there. The withdrawal window is going to look something like this. You select the amount of A curve you want to withdraw by the percentages they have accumulated, and then they have a zap menu where you can see which one you want to select, the different types of curve, convex, and then ETH. And then you can customize the amount of slippage, the withdrawal fee, which is not that much, 0.25%, and then you can also harvest it as well, which I didn't look too deep into it, but I think it's pretty straightforward. The deposit menu is something similar, so you could zap in with different here, which is just mainly curve though. You could decide how much of your curve balance you want to deposit, select it there. There's no deposit fee, which is really nice. Here I tried to show you my frame wallet, but it didn't show. But I think this is just pretty straightforward protocol. They kept it simple and the UI is really nice. So now that the video is over, I'm gonna just still continue talking over this. I think how they designed it is really nice. It's simple and it gets the job done, and I think that I think it's good that it's not an overly complicated UI. If there's something you still don't understand, please let me know. I didn't show all the links or where the docs are because I'm just trying to like show how simple the UI is. If you want to go look at all those documents yourself, you can go on their Twitter, and they probably have a link tree, or you can see it in the bottom of the website yourself as well. Hello everyone, before you leave, go get your free $100 when you deposit $250 or more with Onjuno. They're a crypto-friendly startup bank that lets you get your paycheck in crypto while earning 6% on your USDC and ETH. If that's something that's interested you, go check them out down in the description below. The reason I'm doing this ad is because I use Onjuno myself. I love their product. I love the app, the kind customer support. So I thought when they gave me the offer to do the affiliate link, I said, of course. I hope you guys check them out. I like them. I think you will too. Have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoyed the video.